We're waiting for the 5th January 6th committee hearing to begin, with a focus this time on former President Donald Trump's pressure campaign against the Justice Department in his effort to overturn his election laws.
And we are set to hear testimony from 3 former top officials in the department who say they resisted Trump and his allies' repeated requests. That's former acting Attorney General Jeffrey Rosen, former Deputy Acting Attorney General Richard Donahue, also former top DOJ lawyer Stephen Engel. Let's bring in ABC White House correspondent Mary Alice Parks, also former Republican Congresswoman from Virginia, Barbara Comstock, and former Democratic Senator from North Dakota, Heidi Heitkamp. And we talk about the repeated pressures on the DOJ, on election officials to overturn the 2020 election. And now we'll hear more exactly about that pressure, Mary Alice. We learned that federal agents reportedly searched the home of former DOJ official Jeffrey Clark this morning. Do we know what they were looking for? Will we learn more during today's hearings? Because we are now understanding that as these hearings have been taking place, a slew of evidence apparently is coming forward that's now pushing additional hearings.
Yeah, Kira, the timing here is so important because we are expecting the witnesses in their testimony in the hearing today to talk quite a lot about this man, about Jeffrey Clark. Now, he was a not very well-known official in the Department of Justice there at the end of the Trump administration, but he apparently was willing to promote these conspiracy theories around the election, and that's why the former president, President Trump, liked him. He apparently was circulating possible drafts of letters that he thought the Department of Justice should send to states, asking them to perhaps wait to certify the election. And the acting sort of heads of the Department of Justice at the time have confirmed that Trump was openly talking about firing the acting attorney general and replacing him with Clark. Now, they have said that they threatened to resign if Trump went through with that. But I can imagine that investigators were looking for possible communications between him and the White House at the time, any of these possible draft documents that he was suggesting. And I imagine we're going to hear a lot more about him and what investigators were looking for when they apparently raided his home.
So, Heidi, this is a look inside the Trump Justice Department at a moment of tremendous crisis. The president at the time thought he won re-election and he wanted to enlist the Justice Department's help. A lot of people might think, well, what's the matter with that? The Justice Department should be investigating potential fraud and stuff like that. What are you expecting to hear that would cross a line and would indicate wrongful activity, perhaps illegal activity by Donald Trump, that would show the American people that this was something very bad going on, not something normal?
Well, I think Donald Trump's whole defense is, look, I was relying on advice of counsel. I have a right to pursue all of my legal remedies. But when they hear legitimate lawyer after legitimate lawyer, including his own White House counsel, told him that there's no there, it becomes more, I think it becomes more culpable. The president becomes more culpable. You know, there's an old thing about reliance on advice of counsel. Well, you can't go counsel shopping if you're going to rely on advice of counsel to allege that you did no criminal wrongdoing. And so I think these are important just to set the stage on what exactly the president knew as a matter of law, what the facts were on his claims and the illegitimacy of his claims. And so very probably less emotional than yesterday, but or the day before, but certainly from a lawyer's standpoint, very significant testimony today.
And Barbara, Republican Representative Adam Kinzinger, as we know, will lead the questioning in today's hearing. He's one of the 2 Republicans on this committee, including Liz Cheney, that is just, they've been skewered politically and even personally for speaking out against the big lie, for going up against Trump. Let's talk about the significance of the fact that he will be leading this and throwing out questions, and what do you want to hear from him?
Well, listen, as a former Justice Department official in the Bush administration, I am thrilled to have someone of such character as Adam Kinzinger working on this today. And also, I'm friends with Jeff Rosen, so very much looking forward to hearing from him, because he had been Elaine Chao's deputy at Transportation before he came over to be Bill Barr's deputy and replaced. And I think because he had been a deputy, he wasn't as well known. I think Trump thought he could roll him. You know, he might have been intimidated to try and roll Bill Barr, but once Bill Barr was gone, I think Trump was very clearly, and this was done personally, not by anybody in the White House, because the White House lawyers had bailed on him, but he was trying to use the DOJ illegally to dupe states into illegally decertifying the election or having, you know, bogus substitute electors. And then he was trying to dupe Mike Pence into doing illegal things. So this was Trump at the center of all of this, and that's what's going to be clear today. It took these Justice Department officials who weren't well known at the time to come over on a Sunday afternoon and tell Donald Trump, we are going to blow you up in the press if you try and do this. And we know at that time from some of the Mark Meadows texts that even people like Sean Hannity and Kayleigh McEnany were saying, oh, no, the White House counsel's office is going to quit if this happens. So, again, you are seeing throughout these hearings, and I think they've done such a good job at doing this, showing that Donald Trump personally was at the center of this. When I was at the Justice Department, George Bush was not calling over asking anybody to do particularly, do things like this. It was the White House counsel would call and talk to the people at the Justice Department, and they weren't about interfering in cases. That would have been inappropriate. The press office, I headed up the press office at Justice, if they called and said, hey, why didn't you tell me about this case? I'd explain to them, hey, it's grand jury. I don't tell you until it comes out. This is how it works at the Justice Department. So this is unprecedented what Donald Trump did. And I think today, once again, it's going to be very damaging and show criminal behavior on Trump's part.
All right, Barbara, Heidi, Mary Ellis, thank you all so much.
Thanks a lot.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.